I think as an average student, you have to fight for your life, right? Yeah. Don't give up. Believe in yourself and don't doubt yourself. Some of the things that I do now shocks my family because they're just like, wait, what? We didn't think you're capable of that. And it comes with a lot of sacrifices.
Yeah.
I couldn't go home. As a young girl, I'd have teachers who were like, hey, you need to tone it down. You need to be still, don't do everything like happy. And I don't regret it. To understand the power of networks and referrals.
Yes.
But I might be talking to the future SVP or CEO of a company.
Yeah.
I always say that as a student, as much as getting your qualification is important, you also need to work on your employability, because that's another skill that you need to invest in as a student. You need to make sure by the time you get your qualification, you are actually employable.
Yeah.
I think my faith keeps me grounded. I'm Christian. My manager trusted me, and I think she's one of the people I'm forever indebted to. My postgraduate diploma in management in the field of energy leadership. So it gave me a better understanding of the energy industry. And
hi guys, welcome to Peaceful Podcast. Today I have my first non-STEM person on the podcast. So Shanti Khosa.
hi.
Man, welcome to Peaceful Podcast.
Thank you. It's nice being here.
It's nice being here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
We're not gonna talk about what time we're shooting and where, but it's part of life.
Okay.
So we're gonna start first with the game.
Okay.
Using our moments, kids version. And you're gonna just pick 2 cards for me randomly.
Okay.
Don't look at them, just give them to me.
2.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
Let's see. What scares you the most and why?
Sure. I don't get scared very easily.
Oh.
But I'm scared of snakes.
Scared of snakes?
Yeah.
That
scares me the most. I can't face a snake face to face.
You can't face a snake. Can you face a rat though?
I can. I'm not scared of rats.
Okay.
Or any.
Because I'm just if
it had to be a lion or a snake, I'd be more scared of a snake than a lion. I find them creepy.
Well, okay.
I'm scared of snakes.
Just thinking about a lion and you're afraid of a snake, but okay. Last one, 2 cards. If you could ask anyone for help, who would it be and why?
Sure.
Actually, this one is perfect. I'll tell you why.
Okay. If I would ask anyone for help, who would it be? My father.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's that one person in my life I know will never miss my call.
Oh, okay.
If I call him now, he'll definitely pick up.
My favorite child.
And I can't confirm or deny.
I'll tell you why I say favorite child.
But I know that he also has solutions to almost every problem I encounter.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that confirms your theory, but
well, you say your father. So
my father,
let's see.
Yes.
You tell me, because you're not you're the middle child.
I'm the middle child.
Yes.
You're the only girl.
And the only girl.
Yes.
So you tell me why you're the only one that gets to have a phone out of all your siblings. The first time your father bought a phone, you were the first person to get it, and your older brother didn't get it. Is it because you're the favorite child?
I don't know. And interestingly enough, I don't remember.
Yeah, he remembers it. Yeah, he remembers.
Usually,
I remember that day.
He would remember. But I think maybe being the only girl, and you know what they say about fathers and daughters.
Okay.
Compared to sons, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually think if we were to argue, he is my mom's favorite. Him and my brother.
Okay, so
So they come
so is
first.
that thing then the daughters
I think
with the
so.
fathers and the sons with the
I
mothers?
think so. At least in my family, that's how I've seen it to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, okay. Oh, the reason why I was like, when you who you call, because I had a conversation with her, but I was like, you more like caring everybody. You always show up for everybody. So I was like, more curious, who would you call if you needed
Yeah.
someone? So
No, I'm a very family orientated person.
Yeah.
I love my family to death. My family, my in-laws, my
Yeah.
extended family, basically everyone who's in my life. There's
Okay.
nothing I couldn't do for them.
But how do you do it then? Because you have your own life, yeah.
I do.
You have a kid here, and you have work. You're married, and you still show up for them.
I think you just have to be intentional about it. You need to know who matters and why. But also because I believe that in my whole life journey, these are the people who've been there. These are the people who have contributed a lot to who I am and to where I am now. So they carried me, and when I'm able to, then I do the same.
Yeah, because I was just wondering, I was like, maybe this lady doesn't have 24 hours in the day like normal people.
No, I do. And
yeah,
and it's enough, actually. You know, people usually say 24 hours is not enough, but I think for me it is.
it's enough.
Mm.
To make time for everybody.
For everybody.
Make time for yourself as well.
Yeah, if you're intentional about it. I mean, I have schedules to check up on people. So in a week, I would even know who I need to call, who haven't I been in contact with.
Yeah.
You know, just being intentional about checking up on people, finding out how they're doing. Yeah. And it really doesn't take a lot.
Yeah, it doesn't take, I guess,
no, you just pick up your phone and call people. I mean, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, even 20 sometimes.
Yeah, but people...
Or an hour.
I guess people come with excuses and just like, oh no, I don't have time, but they end up being on social media. That is
exactly. And if you are looking for excuses, you always have them.
Yeah.
You always come up with them.
Well, whatever you're looking for, you'll find it.
Yes.
Okay. Then, let's see. How would you, looking back, how would you describe your academic performance from primary school, high school?
I went to a combined independent school in my town. I'm from a small town in Malamulele. So it was more like semi-private, if I can put it that way. So obviously compared to public, we had smaller classes. Teachers paid individual attention, and I was fine, but I've always been an average child.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned I was like more of a smart one, but him
and my younger brother are the most intelligent academically at home. Yeah. So I've always been an average child, but I worked hard. So I've loved school from a very young age. I loved school. I showed up. I did my homeworks. I listened in class, and I think that's what carried me. Yeah. So primary went quite well. I was in that school until grade 9, and then I had to move to a public school from grade 10 to 12. So that grade 10 went well. I was actually in the top 5, which shocked me because I was never really, like a top student or anything like that. So I was in the top 5 and I was shocked, and it never happened again. So I passed my grade 10 quite well. Yeah. Grade 11, I think I started seeing flames there. And then in my matric, I got a diploma pass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, then your brother mentioned was like everything that you set your mind on, you just get it done. So you just like a hard worker, you go after it. And you mentioned the matric, you had to go and write it again.
Rewrite, yes. Yeah. I had to. I got a diploma pass, but I knew which institution I wanted to go to, and I knew what I wanted to do. And I knew that the results I had wouldn't give me that. I had other options, but I thought, let me enroll for supplementary exams. I think at the time they did allow supplementary exams. Yeah. And then I also just took the whole year again. So I repeated my matric.
Okay. After
writing my supplementary exams. It's actually quite interesting because the year I was upgrading my results, I wrote my supplementary exams, I think beginning of the year. Yeah. Got results, I think around December, and then didn't do well. January went back to school. February set for supplementary exams, and then I reapplied. at the institution I wanted to go to, and I got an acceptance, I think, just after April.
Yeah.
I had a firm offer because of my supplementary results, but then I still stayed that whole year to improve. And went to varsity the following year.
For someone who's so you got into our top 5, you're like, no, not again.
No, I was shocked. I think it was because of the school I was coming from. Like with those semi-private schools, like we were well equipped. I think maybe even spoon-fed. So I got to that school with so much knowledge from the previous school.
Yeah.
But then I didn't maintain
this information
momentum.
It helps someone in this room, because things like Limpopo, they have kids under the tree and teaching them
exactly.
And stuff. So
yeah,
you're getting that information. Okay. Well, okay, that's really cool. Then, do you always know that you wanted to be like a business analyst, or there were like some options that you had?
I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I think, again, I can attribute it to my high school. I don't think I had enough knowledge in terms of the career options available, in terms of what I can do. I think when I had to choose a stream in grade 10, I went for physics and accounting because it was a safer option, not because I knew what I wanted to do beyond high school. So I went for that, but I still didn't have an idea. I actually started understanding metric passes in my own metric here when I got a diploma pass, and I was like, oh, so this is what a diploma means. When you got it, it means I can't study towards a bachelor's degree. This is what a bachelor pass means. This is, that's when I started fully understanding what that means. And by then it was too late.
It's just too late.
Yeah, but I think also it did help me going forward. So I read a lot of university brochures, trying to understand what it is that I wanted to do. I still wasn't sure. But I knew I didn't want sciences. I knew I wasn't very strong in mathematics. So I just had to use the elimination game to say, okay, I'm not good at that. I was not very bad in accounting, but I knew again that I didn't want to be CASA. I was not that invested in accounting like that. So I enrolled for a Bachelor of Commerce. The intention was to do, again, lack of career advice. The intention was to do accounting and law. So, and I think one thing about the institution I went to is that they allowed us you can do any combination of subjects because it's also a very small institution. So I did accounting.
Yes.
I did law, which was two very demanding subjects. Yeah. So throughout my studies, something had to give. So accounting suffered. Yes. I didn't do very well in accounting. I dropped it.
You didn't want to be CA anyway?
Sorry?
You didn't want to be a CA anyway?
No, I don't even want to be a CA. So I was like, at some point I was like, why am I even doing this?
Yeah.
But I was doing very well in economics, interestingly enough. So I continued majoring in economics and law. And then I graduated with my BCom in economics and law.
Oh, okay. That's great.
That was after dropping accounting.
That's after dropping accounting.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? And then you mentioned you didn't have that kind of knowledge and stuff. That's one of the reasons why I've started this podcasting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, because I know most of people that become chemical engineers, process engineers. So like, okay, we go in there because we like chemistry, and then you get a reality check. Like, okay, it's not only about chemistry. Just because it's chemical, you think it's only that. And then even when it comes to career options, you don't know exactly what that is. So if we can have it online, everybody's always online now. These days, the kids can just watch the episode and get an idea what this is about.
Yeah, and I think just to answer your question, I didn't know I'd be a BA in future. Because even when I was doing economics, I actually went back to do my honors because I was in my final year and I'm like, I don't even know what kind of jobs to apply for. Like, I don't know, like with an economics degree, do I just become an economist? How does that even work?
Yeah.
With other professional courses like accounting, like law, engineering, there are exams that there are board exams and stuff. So now I was like, okay, I'll get my BCom done with my third year.
What next?
where to from here? So I went back to do my honors, and that was when I started understanding the available career options for me in economics. Remember, the intention was not to major in economics from the beginning. So I think I also didn't really invest in knowing what I could possibly do. So I got my honors, and then things got a bit clearer. But even then, I've never really been specific in terms of what I want to do. I'm one person who just grabs opportunities that come my way.
Well, so I can tell. Yeah, I know.
So I'm not picky. I just, after getting my honors, I was just like, okay, what's available out there? So I started looking. I started my career as a credit graduate at a bank.
But now, we're just gonna go into the varsity journey.
Oh, okay.
There's some stuff that problem. I need to pick on. But before I pick on them, just pick a number. This is gonna be long. Okay, just pick 5 numbers between 26 and 35.
Sure.
Yeah, I know.
30.
30. Okay. As we go on. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just questions for you then.
Oh, okay.
So, I got information that you're quite influential individual. From the lady from BP, the talent acquisition lady. Then she mentioned like you got the contacts for University of Venda and Limpopo, and then when the recruiting companies, they go for exhibitions at universities.
Yes.
Then you have to pay a fee. Then just because of you people, you are helping her out. It's like very helpful with that.
She didn't tell me about the fees because I would have at least demanded a commission.
But I
didn't know there were fees that got waived.
So, but just check, like, how do you use your influence amongst your peers? Can be at work, like how do you use that kind of influence that you have?
That's a very difficult question to answer because I never regarded myself as an influential person. But I talk to people. I love being involved. And then especially when it comes to career exhibitions, like I'm saying, I didn't have proper understanding of, career options and how to map out my journey. So it's something that I've now become very intentional in, guiding people in my community, people I talk to, my family. I have a younger brother who's in matric now, and I'm very, very invested
in making the same mistakes that I made, boy.
He can't.
You can't say you didn't have information.
He has options. He has the information. And even, my young cousins, basically everybody who crosses my path.
When I had a chat with her, she mentioned like when you started at BP, you also presented like was it Rose?
University of Venda.
So
maybe just to explain briefly about that. I joined BP as a finance graduate. So that's where I did my graduate program. I joined as a finance graduate. And that was obviously because of my academic background that I ended up in finance. But then I like being out there. The office frustrates me. I don't like just being stuck to my laptop. I want to be involved. I want to talk to people, but I understand that there are limitations that come with what we studied for. So that's when I spoke a lot to Nikki, and then I would hear of because she was an early careers recruiter. Okay, I might not get the title right, but she recruited early careers and she recruited for early careers and graduate programs.
She mentioned.
So I spoke to her and I asked if I could join them. I asked what they were up to and if I can join. But especially because of she's always known how I would, talk to her about helping young people discover their careers, if I can put it that way.
Yeah, but we'll get to that when we explain the varsity journey.
Okay.
Because she mentioned something as well there. Then we're done with 30. So next one.
26.
26. Oh, the first one. Okay. This one, actually, I was putting it this way. Your brother and Nick, they don't know each other.
No, they don't.
Okay. There was interesting because what I could get from them was like the way you are, like your brother mentioned, like you're a hard worker. Then Nikki as well mentioning like you just don't sit.
I think as an average student, you have to fight for your life, right?
Yeah, which is like this person is a hard worker. She asks questions. She doesn't like shy away and just seclude herself. So I was like, oh, okay, this person is a force to be reckoned with. Then I guess that's how she goes about in life. And then I was like, okay. So this one, what do you think it is about your presence or approach that leaves people? That leaves people. I'm messing it up now. What do you think it is about your presence or approach that leaves such a strong impression? Like you mentioned, like you didn't know you're influential, but people when they say it, now you don't know.
I love meeting people. I think maybe that's what it is. I love meeting new people and I love talking to people. I love knowing, about where you come from. I'm sure you noticed even when I walked in here, I asked you questions because I believe that there's so much power in every connection that you make with a person. We don't know what tomorrow holds. We don't know where we'll be tomorrow, but I might be talking to the future SVP or CEO of a company. And not necessarily for my future benefits, but it might be the same for you as well.
Exactly.
And I just like engaging people in a good way, also leaving good impressions, being intentionally kind and welcoming and open to people.
Yeah,
and giving the best version of myself at all times.
Yeah, I can just tell you, I guess even the people that you've met, new people, today, you've been kind to someone at least. Well, I'm the first person, I guess. Okay, then the third one.
28.
28. Well, with you being a BPN, how Nisi just explains like your character, like you ask tough questions. Like, has that ever backfired while trying to know something, or someone explaining something you like doesn't make sense? Then you ask questions. Then has it ever backfired your curiosity?
I can't think of an instance in which it backfired. In the sense that even with the questions that I ask. I ask in a respectful manner, and with that urge to understand and maybe to solve a problem. So I've never, I don't think I've come out as strongly to a point where someone would think I'm rude or somehow in my asking. I don't know if this would be it backfiring, but then one of my student jobs in varsity, I worked for a radio station.
So hold it right there. Welcome to that. But I told you of
Okay.
Skip. We'll come back to this one. Okay. Yeah. Then the fourth one.
32.
32. Okay.
Is that the last one? I hope.
No, the fourth one.
Okay.
So outside. Now I'm gonna skip fast forward to the things. Oh, okay. You know what you've done. I'm not gonna give them the juices yet. You know what you've done in your career from varsity.
Okay.
Let me just say, from being a driver, student driver, to being an analyst right now. Right?
Okay.
So what does like leadership look like on a daily basis? Because I can tell you, the way you've been like mentoring people, giving them advice, whether it being at church, leading choirs and everything. So this like you are the one connecting people, and like you said, you like talking to people. So what do you say?
Leadership.
What does it look like?
It's being one with the people. You can only influence people or lead people that you are one with. People who can relate to you. So I don't think superiority leadership works a lot where you esteem yourself higher than the next person. So if you're one with someone, they can easily relate to you. They can relate to your stories, and then they can follow you without you even, putting the call out there to say, hey, come on, follow me. So you just bond with people. They see you as a normal person. You appear to them that way, as it should be. And people, find it easy to follow and to relate with you because you share in their struggles. You share common purpose. You are headed where they see themselves to be in the future.
Yeah, sure, that's great. I'm even thinking about someone when you explain this.
Okay.
So yeah. Then last one.
34.
34.
I'm going with even numbers. I'm not sure if you noticed.
So how do you stay grounded and humble while being exceptional at what you do?
I think my faith keeps me grounded. I'm Christian.
Yes.
And I do implement biblical principles. And I think, that belief in God keeps me rooted in my faith and also keeps me going in terms of achieving what I'd like to achieve.
So what's your favorite Bible scripture or just a teaching from the Bible?
It's not very spiritual, but you do unto others what you want them to do unto you.
Perfect.
I think that describes my relations with people, my interactions with people, the way I live my life. I wouldn't want to do anything to someone that I wouldn't want them to do to me. So I treat people the way I'd want to be treated. I interact with people the way I'd expect someone to interact with me. Okay.
Super. Then you're done with the 5 questions. Let's go to let's go to the varsity journey. Then you did BCom. Then after that, you just straight to honors. So let's look at extra activities that you've done.
I did a lot.
Exactly.
I did a lot. And I promise you, I won't be able to list everything. I might only remember some tomorrow. But I'll give you what I can remember.
So let's start with being a radio presenter.
That came later on.
That came later.
In varsity.
Okay. Which one came there? Being a driver?
So when I joined Rhodes University as a first year student, I was involved in community engagement. I think coming from Limpopo, being in Eastern Cape, where the spoken language is Khosa, I thought it would better integrate me into the community. So I signed up for community engagement. That was my first non-paying gig in the institute. That was in my first year. So by June, I think first year we did the orientations and then they told us about community engagement. So I volunteered. I taught in this primary school called Fikizolo. I just interacted with grade 3 learners, helped them with their homework and stuff. So that was the first official thing I did in varsity. Then end of my first year, which is going to be very tricky because I also didn't finish my studies in record time. So my third year might have been my fourth year in the institution. But end of my first year, I got into the house committee. I stayed in res. So the residents had a residence committee. I was academic and residential network res, like helping people connect their laptops to the internet, organizing academic workshops and supporting people academically. So that's what I did in my first year at Rhodes. That's just my first year.
Then the driving.
Then after that, that came. When did it come actually? In my second year, actually, end of my second year. Beginning of the year, I did, there was a Get Home Safe program where we would drive intoxicated students back to their residences on campus and off campus. So that was the first driving job that I did. I think it was mid-2016, which was in my second year.
You care too much to be driving students that are around.
I don't drink, so I was the best candidate for that because I would drive intoxicated students to make sure they get home safely.
Exactly.
And then after that, there was a trip to drive the choir to Namibia. So because I did the driving of intoxicated students. I had my PDP. I went to do a test to drive quantums with a trailer, and then that's when I got into being an official student driver.
Okay.
Yeah, so they discontinued the Get Home Safe program, and then I became a student driver. So I would drive students and staff members to trips, to the beach for their research projects, to their tours outside the country, the SRC for institution visits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what then? Being the Secretary General came later as well.
In my honors. In my
okay.
honors, that's when I became this. So in my final year, I ran for the SRC for the following academic year.
Yeah,
that's when I got elected. And I ran independently, so I don't belong to any political party.
Okay. Yeah. You know, like one of the, maybe she might have told you, Nisi, but like sometimes like all of us are graduates coming from varsity. Then we're looking for a job.
Yes.
Sometimes everybody doesn't have experience. That comes without saying. You don't have experience. But she was like, we also check things like, what were you involved with? Are you volunteering? Are you helping out? Those kind of things.
Which is very important.
Yeah, you have leadership skills. So it was like one of the things that was like, oh, this person is being a driver. Let me just be this person. This person was in was part of the SRC office. Let's bring this person in, let's see. So yeah.
Yeah.
And you just clicked with the manager as well. So.
And I think that's another thing that young people don't know about, that I wouldn't have.
Know about it.
Yeah, so people don't know that. I mean, there's just so many graduates. I think for metric exams alone, there are more than 500,000 learners who sit for those exams. And those are learners who now go into higher education.
Yeah.
And then in about 3 years, you complete your qualification. You are now competing, with maybe even more than that number now, because people don't get jobs at the same year. So you need to stand out. You need to be involved in something.
Yes.
Recruiters need to see that this person A with this qualification, person B with the same qualification, but what makes the other person different?
Yes. Yeah, it was like the one thing that I had was like the college degree just helps you, or varsity degree just helps you. Like, oh, this person was there for a couple of years, stick it out, and
to show employers that you can grasp concepts.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. So by now, like everybody has it. So what's gonna set you different from it?
Exactly. So I always say that as a student, as much as getting your qualification is important, you also need to work on your employability, because that's another skill that you need to invest in as a student. You need to make sure by the time you get your qualification, you are actually employable.
Yeah, that's one thing that Prisha was told. So yeah. Then you, let me see, activities that you did while you were studying. You're a radio presenter.
I was a radio presenter.
Then student driver. Then SRC. What else? I think
worked in the library.
Yes,
I worked in the library.
Yes, I remember that one as well. So
I also worked during my studies. Grahamstown hosts the National Arts Festival. Yeah. I don't know if you know about that. It's just a festival of the arts where people from all over the country and the world come. So I worked there as a cashier. I was selling tickets for shows there. And yeah.
But like
I drove the guests as well, like those who were coming to perform. So I would fetch them from P Airport to Grahamstown to come perform.
Just so now, from that, what is it that you started with?
I started with volunteering.
Volunteering, like for driving, or was it for?
No, for teaching.
For teaching.
I volunteered in a school. Yeah. So supporting the kids with homework.
So while you're in varsity, starting with volunteering there at the school, to now being, let's say that throughout like all the peace jobs that you did in varsity.
Yeah.
Like, why did you do it? Just like,
I did volunteering because, like I said, I wanted to understand and know the place that I was in. Yeah. It was my first time in Eastern Cape, and I thought I can better get to know this place by volunteering. There were not a lot of jobs anyone could trust me with as a first-year student. But another thing is because I've always liked being independent. I I didn't like relying on my parents a lot. My parents were not very, they didn't have a fixed schedule on when to send me an allowance. So I hated having to call and be like, when is the allowance coming? Did you guys forget about me? So I also got involved in student jobs because I wanted to make that pocket money.
Yeah, okay. So, but those early hustles, how do they shape you throughout even your current mindset right now?
To be honest, it's challenging because you're not just an ordinary student. When other students are having fun, here trying to hustle, but it shapes your character. Again, it makes you employable. You learn that, as a student, whether you are late for a lecture or not, it doesn't matter and it doesn't affect anyone. But now when you have a shift in the library and you need to be there, then it affects your pay and you can get fired for that. You have a contract that you signed. So it builds your work ethic. You know how to show up for work. You know how to be professional. You know how to report to your line manager, which I think is another thing that, if your first job is in corporate, like that's your first job, getting into this big company. Sometimes you might not even know how you need to relate to your colleagues, how you need to relate to your managers. So I think for me, a lot of things that I learned through the student jobs, there are certain patterns that I would pick up to say, oh, okay, this is how it works. I don't just wake up and decide I'm not going to work. I'm not going to get paid. But also because you also get to understand recommendations. It was through some of the student jobs that I did where someone would recommend me for another one, or a manager would go talk to another manager to say, I actually have the student and she does her job so well. Don't you want to work with her? So you get to understand the importance of showing up and doing your job well to make sure that the next person, and that's why you were in contact with Nikki, who was my recruiter. We still do have that connection. We still talk.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone keeping contact with their recruiters like So it's interesting.
So it's one of you get to understand the power of networks and referrals.
Yes.
Like just having someone who can
the thing is, like,
talk for you.
When you say this, when you mention these things, I can relate so much. Yeah.
Really?
Because I've done a couple of things in university, just extra that normal my peers were not doing.
Exactly.
So different backgrounds, everything like that. So it was just and you tend to appreciate some of the things,
100
things that people take for granted. You just
and it comes with a lot of sacrifice also. I couldn't go home every school holiday because sometimes I'd have to be working.
But you started outside of your piece jobs now, if you know. You the first internship that you got is I've never heard of this, but I saw you on your LinkedIn. Ubank. Is this something called Ubank?
Yeah, there is. Well, there was.
Oh, there was.
So I worked for Ubank. It used to be a mining bank, so it was mostly in rural areas. They actually had an ATM here at the CBD. So it was targeted it was targeted for rural communities and mining areas mostly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you started there, then straight after that you went to BP. But I'm curious in this BP thing because Nisi mentioned like it was aviation. And
yes.
What in aviation, what is that? Is it like a department?
Yes. Yeah, so I worked in the aviation department. Aviation, so we supplied fuel to planes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so your F-gas, your jet fuel.
Yeah.
I was in finance, so I was responsible.
Okay.
I can explain. I was responsible for calculating the costs, the profit and loss. Yeah, for the product that we're selling to airports, almost all the airports in the country. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Then straight after that came to Sasol. Then but okay, we'll just go back to education after this. You came to Sasol and you are in a mining department now. So from aviation fuel, then you go to mining.
Look, I mentioned a bit earlier in the interview that I grab opportunities.
Yeah.
So I don't limit myself in terms of what I can do. Might just be your colleague in engineering one day. I'm kidding. But I just grab opportunities that I come across. So I was at BP. I really liked the oil and gas industry.
Yeah.
And so when I got exposed to BP, I knew that, okay, I'd like to remain in this energy sector. Yeah. Also because when I was at BP, the year I started at BP, not the year I started, I think the following year, a year later, I applied for my postgraduate diploma in management in the field of energy leadership. So it gave me a better understanding of the energy industry and drew a lot of interest. So my options were getting narrowed down. Like I could easily get to decide on what I'd like my next move to be. And then I saw an opportunity at Sasol. I gave it a shot, and here we are now.
Yeah, I remember when Nisi told me, it was like you got the sponsorship for your postgraduate.
So my manager at BP dropped me an email. She's like, hey, there's this opportunity. Do you want to do it? And I was like, say no more. It's an opportunity that came. Not everyone in my team did it. There were other graduates who chose not to do it, but I was like, oh, okay, sounds interesting. It's sponsored. It's sponsored, so I'll go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. But what kind of impression did you leave? Because when I was interviewing her or having a call with her, she was like, you did so well in a space of 3 months that the manager was like away for a certain portfolio. So you were handling it so well, like 3 months in. And it seemed to them like you've been there for years, the way you are so...
my manager trusted me, and I think she's one of the people I'm forever indebted to. She trusted me. She always told me that I can do what she does. But obviously, I'm still in my early careers. I need to build my way up. But there's nothing she didn't show me. There's nothing she believed I couldn't do. So even when I'd have late nights trying to crack something and I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't even know how to do it. And I'd call her to be like, I don't think I can do this. She'd be like, no, you can. And I'll show you how. So which worked in our favor because we were a very small team. We were a small team. So there was a time where she had to be away.
Yes.
And we didn't know, we couldn't have foreseen that coming. But because of the trust and the confidence and the skills that she instilled in me, because she always said I can do what she does. And I got to understand that I can actually do what she does. So every day working with her was more like a handover, was learning something new, was getting confident in what I was supposed to be doing, my performance contract. So when she had to be away, then it wasn't very difficult to take over.
Oh, I was like, the person just been there for a couple.
But also there was support from the team, from other people in the business.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And
so I didn't do it alone.
Well, that's not what I had. Okay.
I didn't do it alone.
Now, then, if just looking back, if you could give yourself like advice, or actually like your younger self and someone who's in your shoes, transitioning from transitioning from high school to varsity, what would you tell them? Don't
give up. Believe in yourself and don't doubt yourself. I think I talk a lot. So as a young girl, I'd have teachers who are like, hey, you need to tone it down. You need to be still. Don't do everything like ungaphaphi. And I don't regret it. I'm quite glad. I didn't doubt myself. I didn't try to restrain myself or to limit myself in terms of the kind of person that I was. So, and it's what I believe contributed to how I got to where I am and to where I am today.
Oh, that's great. I'll tell you that. Then right now, you continue with Like, is it a continuation, like from your postgrad, because you're currently doing your master's?
Yeah, so I completed my postgraduate diploma in management, and I'm
So it's like
currently
1
doing
year
my
thing.
master. Yeah,
Or
that
is it
was 1
separate
year.
things? Oh, okay.
That was 1 year. And then after that, I applied for this master's in management that I'm currently doing.
Okay, BCom, honors, postgrad, now master's 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
for now.
For now.
For now, yeah. For now, it's just that.
For now, it's just that. Then how are you balancing like all these things? Like I said, we spoke about this when we started. Being a mother, being a wife, now you're studying, the family.
It's not easy, but it's doable. You just need to, hence I have a schedule of when to call who. Because if I don't do that, then I might find my whole evening just being on the phone the whole day. But yeah, I just...
You know what? Now people shouldn't come with excuses that I can't do this and do that.
It depends on the person.
Nah.
It depends on the person, but I think it's just about what you want to achieve and knowing that you have to do it. And when you know you have to do it, then you'll make time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know I have to show up for my son. He needs his mother. He's still very young. My husband needs his wife. And I need to study. I need to do well in my career. So knowing that I have to do those things and I need to show up the best way I can makes it much easier, even allocating time and knowing what to attend to. What. Sometimes I have to do my schoolwork when my son is sleeping after putting him to bed. Sometimes I don't do my schoolwork on weekends because I understand
hours do you sleep again?
I sleep 8 hours.
8 hours?
I love my sleep.
I knew you don't have 24 hours in a day. There's no way. Yeah.
I love my sleep. I sleep 8 hours in a day. I don't take afternoon naps. So I don't nap. I sleep at night.
That's it.
And that's it.
Okay.
Then every time I'm awake,
I
need to be working towards something, even if it means being a mom, being a child to my parents, being a sister to my brothers, being a student. Yeah.
Okay. But with regards to your studies, what has been like an eye-opening thus far?
I think with what I'm currently studying, it's the understanding of the energy security and the energy situation. Let me just say the energy situation of our country. Knowing what's possible and what's not possible. How practical is this net zero 2050 or sooner?
There we go.
But I think it's something that affects us on our everyday life. I think I now become very conscious, and that's something that my family doesn't understand. Even with the lights, you don't just sleep with the light on. You don't just leave water running. You become very conscious of, saving energy. You become very conscious. You understand that every drop counts, every kilowatt of electricity counts.
I hope my mom is watching.
And that contributes to the greater future of the country. If everyone did their little bit, we wouldn't experience some of the problems we're experiencing.
Wow. Yeah. So someone, I wanted to get between the two. So someone transitioning from varsity into the work industry, and then they're gonna do exactly what you do, becoming business analyst. So what advice would you give them? Let's say in the same department or same area, like mining.
Be open to learn. I think there's such a big difference in terms of what we study in school and what you actually do in the workplace. And there's also a big difference from what you do in one company and another company. So you just have to be open to learning, invest in upskilling yourself. We're moving towards the era of AI and, people asking whether we're replaceable. Invest in soft skills. I think that's another way to make it in the industry. There's quite a big difference in what business analysts do. So one BA in one company doesn't do the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's business analysts in IT as well. So just invest in your craft, upskill, make sure you know what's happening in the industry, see what skills are in demand. What I like doing a lot is job hunting. Not necessarily applying, but to look at jobs out there that are hiring. So
Like the
if
trends.
maybe banking is looking for a business analyst, what are they looking for? And matching what I know and the skills that I have to what other companies are looking for out there, just to make yourself marketable.
Yeah.
So I go through the list and I'm like, okay, I don't have this. It means that's the next thing I need to focus on in terms of training and development.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's one advice I'd give.
Yeah. I just like, just looking at how you explaining, you start with like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then one thing keeps adding to another, like from varsity, from high school, like, oh, let's do this thing. Then
Yeah.
after doing that, you're connecting the dots going
Yeah.
forward. So it's kind of interesting. How
it doesn't feel like it, but yeah, when you look at it from outside, it is interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. That it's just one thing again, like people don't see like the choices that you had to make. They only see the outcome.
Mhm.
So in
That's
between
always
the
the
cloud,
case.
the
Yeah.
cries, and
Not even
everything,
your
they don't see.
family knows. I think some of the things that I do now shocks my family because
Yeah.
they're just like, wait, what? We didn't think you're capable of that, but yeah.
Okay, you're a super woman for that family. So yeah. So let's see. I'm gonna go back to my Sasol questions. Where you working now, right?
Okay.
So I picked my own. I had 5 actually, but I was like, let me just pick my own. I'm gonna pick my own 3 out of this 5.
Okay.
So
is it 5 questions? Can I pick for you, like you did with me?
pick.
In numerical order.
36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
40.
40.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's so. So you managing like you working with, you mentioned like you also do like some work on the intranet and SharePoint.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So just some behind the scenes for Sasol people there.
Okay.
They don't know what you're doing, but so how do these platforms contribute to the collaboration and information flow in a company?
So specifically relating to the internet and
Yeah.
so I'm in the knowledge management team, and
Okay.
that's where it contributes to Sasol. So in terms of SharePoint administration, it's with looking after the mining intranet site, making sure that updates that need to be done are done, and what is there on the site is a reflection of what you are supposed to be seeing. So the information that's there is up to date. And then we also support the colleagues in their team sites, in their individual team sites. So if they need support in terms of permissions, who is supposed to see what information, or what is it that they're not supposed to see, then we assist in that regard, which contributes to knowledge management, change management, making sure that even if maybe one person leaves, then the information is available and can be accessed for, succession for the next person who needs to take over the role to at least have that. So making sure that our information is in one place and can be easily accessible to keep the business going.
Yeah, because I remember I had to create like a page for the junior engineers for creating our own page on SharePoint. They have to assign someone like the owner, the rights, who can review,
site
can
owners,
just
and
like, yo,
so that's the kind of support that we give. If you need to build a site, then we provide that support.
Yeah, okay. I'm done with that part of life, but okay. Yeah, then let's go.
I'm choosing the questions.
Yeah, you choose it.
Okay, 37.
37. I like that you're picking the ones that I had. Thank you.
Okay, that's good then.
Now, what's one business improvement project you've worked on that you are especially proud of, and what was your role in making it successful?
Not necessarily. Okay. Okay. I think let me just put it this way. I was part of the team that was behind the development of the project management office tool.
Okay.
So just making it easier to track our KPIs, making it easier to report on our KPIs. So the testing of the tool, the user acceptance tests. So, and it's quite good to see that people are using it.
Yeah.
And I contributed in that. But then what I wanted to say before this is that for me, it's not a specific project, but then it's because I'm mostly in reporting. So
okay.
performance and planning analysis. And one thing that I had to do when I joined, I was very frustrated because in reporting, then you receive information from people that you need to put together, analyze, prepare it for other people. So it's like a chain. You receive information, you need to send information to people.
They're late, you are late.
If they're late, then I'm late, and people are, so one thing that I actively worked on is to clearly identify my stakeholders, know who I'm supposed to work with, and then literally see them face to face and be like, okay, this is the kind of information that I expect from you. Can we just understand when do you have this available? And then we align in that sense. And then I also do the same to the people that I need to send information to, because you'd be busy with a report at 12, you'll be done at 2. Someone is calling you at 1 o'clock, which actually interferes with the work that you're doing. So I had to set expectations with the people that I work with as well, to say, okay, fine, because of how this chain works, I can only be able to have this available at this time. There are some where, it's not up to me. It just has to be available at a certain time. And I think that's where aligning with those that I rely on to give me information played a crucial role. So it has gotten better over time because then now I don't even have to remind people to send me anything. I just wait, and then I know that, okay, by 11 this is in, by 2 o'clock this is in. If it's not in, then I had to come up with one, because it can be quite a frustrating environment. It involves a lot of people, and
working with people is difficult, but
no, it's interesting, not difficult. It's interesting.
The people part
it's
is
interesting.
Like you have different personalities.
But I like it because, again, it's the one part of my job that I think I get to network. Get to meet people in different departments. Get to understand what they do.
Then the last one, if you pick this number, it means no.
Which ones did
because
I pick?
Because I highlighted them.
I even forgot the ones. I know I picked
said
40.
40, 37.
37. The last one. 39.
Okay, you missed it. It's 38. But
Sorry.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Nah, so you're the one that you chose, 39. I even forgot what it was about. So it has to do with.
Okay, let me give you one.
No. You have to do with. You chose this one, so let's stick to it.
Okay.
Planning and testing phases of business projects, right? How do you stay agile while managing demands of governance and documentation? That's why I decided to skip it. Anything that has to do
we
with
can
governance.
Try 38. We can try 38. It's a loaded one. 38.
Okay. Still the same thing. So
okay.
What? You're deeply involved. I've mentioned you're deeply involved in bridging strategy with execution. Having strategy, execution, just like you mentioned, you have to create your own system, then you have to execute it to make sure everything runs smoothly. So how do you balance the technical side of the analytics with people and processes?
It's time management, and again, having a plan. So I think maybe very interestingly, I have different notebooks. So I think, in my work bag, I have 3 of those, and then I use my notes app a lot. So it's just, planning your time and knowing what you need to do when, and then prioritizing. There are things in my work that can wait, and then you leave it for later. And then there's stuff that is time bound that needs to be done at a certain time. And then I focus on that. And then in between, then it's for development. I still make time for that. I think it benefits the employer as well. So I still make time in my daily plans to, maybe not every day, but then to have time for development.
Okay, see. Well, enough of this company questions and what you do every day.
Okay.
Then how do you get into this extracurriculum activities, just like Rising Star, the GradStar programs? How do you get into that? You just apply for them?
I grab opportunities. So
And-
most
Yeah.
of them, like GradStar, they would be sending emails to institutions to say, hey, you want to be a GradStar? I apply. I apply for anything I think I qualify for, you know. So if I hear there's something out there, I don't limit myself. Also because really the worst that can happen is you getting a no. And it's not that deep. It's not money lost or time lost. Actually, it's actually an opportunity to learn, even if you don't make it. So with GradStar, that's what happened. With Rising Star, same thing. I got an email and I was like, let me give this a shot. And that's basically with everything that I've been involved in.
Yeah. And one thing that I like about you being involved in all this, after you've got that experience, you get to share with other people as well. Because I saw like this other lady was like, thank you, Shanti, for helping me, for coaching me and making me be all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we rise by helping others. We rise with others. So I love doing that kind of things. But also because it's free to share information. So if there is an opportunity that I think I benefited from, I'm always happy to share with those coming after me.
Okay. So with your role as a business analyst, how do you see it evolving in our sector? Because it's different now. Business analyst in IT department, you mentioned, is different from, but in your environment, how do you see it evolving in the next 5-10 years?
I don't know.
You don't know she won't be here. I will be out of this department, so I won't be here. I don't know.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's a lot of changes in the world currently happening. I mentioned the rising AI, interfering, the automating of systems. So there's a lot that could happen. Obviously, I don't expect it to remain as it is now. Even the scope of work has so much potential for change, but I can't really pinpoint exactly to say this is where we'll be in 5 years. There will be a lot of changes. There's so many things that influence those changes.
Okay. Then was there just, we can say, take from high school throughout varsity to where you are right now, was there a moment where you were like seriously like doubted your path, like not knowing what you want to do?
I did. A lot of
times. Any moment that you can pinpoint? Like
a lot of times. I think I didn't do quite well in my third year. I had to repeat my third year. And that's because I had to repeat my third year because there were some courses from second year that I had to take while in my third year. So that messed up my whole third year. And I wasn't sure, like I told you, I wasn't sure what I'm going to do with this degree after studying. I wasn't sure if it's worth it. I think at some moment I even doubted if I made the right choice, but it was too late then. I had to quickly pick myself up and
it seems like
and finish what I started.
Very quickly to situations then.
Yeah.
Looking where you are right now.
Life doesn't have time for stallers. You need to fall and get back up again as soon as you can, because time waits for no man. So there I really doubted myself. I didn't know, I couldn't predict my future. I wouldn't be able to tell you where I'd be in the next 5. And it was very interesting because even when I attended job interviews, they'll be like, so where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I'm like, at this point, I'm trying to just get past this moment to get this job, and then we can focus on the next 5 years,
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a very gray area of my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, I pulled myself up, finished my third year quite well, very, very well, that I got accepted into honors. And yeah.
So it's also like that in BCom, you have to perform.
You have,
like,
you have
okay.
to, there are minimum requirements you need to meet
Yeah,
to make
'cause
it
I
into
know even
honors. It's
engineering
not
the same.
standard. There's an average you need to have,
Yeah.
I think 65 or 70.
65.
Mm.
Yeah, okay.
So
Then you've done all these things. What's your motivation? Okay, let's talk. It changes over time, I guess. But right now, what's your motivation? Like, you know.
I just want to be better than I was the previous day, the previous year,
Yeah.
the previous month. So that's my motivation, to be a different person every day, investing in my development, in my health, in my well-being.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are things that I think you need to be very intentional about. And yeah, that's it. I just want to be a better person than I was yesterday.
Okay.
Be a different person. So I want to look back 5 months and I'm like, oh, okay, this is where I came from.
Yeah.
I'm doing great. If I didn't do so great, then we see what we need to improve there.
Well, that's great. Then, I asked you or your brother, what is it that you would like to say to you while after I shoot?
Okay.
Well, I guess what he said. Because I know siblings like always like telling each other bad things, like joking and stuff.
Exactly.
Then
I can't
then you
predict
forget to
what
tell
you'd
each other
want
that you
to.
love each other and stuff. So
No, my brother and I do.
yeah.
With my brothers and I do tell each other we
Well,
we
most
love
of the time
each
it's
other.
like you joke and stuff like that. So
No, on a serious note.
well, you do something else, all right? Okay. Yeah. So wanna guess what he said?
I can't guess.
You can guess.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but one thing.
I talk to my brother almost every day, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. So we said, keep doing the great things and taking care of everyone and motivating the kids. That's one thing that he likes. And then
Oh, thank you.
he mentioned like you've carried him through a lot of stuff.
He's carried me. Actually, when I got when I didn't perform the way I expected to perform in matric, he's the one who stayed up with me. You know, matric results, those SMSs that come in around midnight and stuff. I was in his room that whole night. So he's the person I was with when I got my results, and I was disappointed, and he saw it. And, you know, we got through the night together, and he's like, okay, so what do we do? So, but that's the approach we've always had.
Yeah.
If I'm in a tight situation, my brother comes and is like, what can we do?
Yeah.
What can I do for you? And I do the same with him.
Yeah, I mentioned like you've there's a couple of situations you have to bail him out, and one thing that he likes is you never have to remind him. He's like, hey, this happened, you learn from it.
I remind him of the things that he's done for me.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. Yeah, no one wants to be reminded of like, oh, I done this for you. Like you never do that. And
no, I love my siblings so much.
Yeah, he mentioned like you are there for everybody. You are the only person that they can rely on. Everyone relies on you. Everyone.
Well, them, not
he emphasized
everyone.
I was like, yeah, if she's not here, we don't know what we're gonna do. I was like,
yeah.
Okay, I was like, oh, I guess you don't have that middle child syndrome, I guess.
I guess it's the middle child syndrome, actually, because I'm right in the middle. So, you know, yeah.
Well, yeah. But out of all awards, accolades throughout, what is the one that you're most proud of? I've done this. I'm
proud of being a mom. I didn't say
school and everything. What matters is having kids. Yes.
No. No. I'm just saying for me, I think when I was busy with whatever I've been busy with, I never, thought of the kind of mom I would be. I had my son and I didn't even know what to do with him. The first day I brought him home, like I remember we came back home from the hospital. And mom is like, yeah, so it's in the evening because we're just sitting there in the sitting room with everybody. And mom is like, so you guys can go to bed. And I'm like, just us, like going to bed, the two of us, what do I even do, But yeah, it's been a journey, and I think I'm handling it quite well. At least that's the one area I can say I know I'm doing well, because my son assures me of that. He's 3.5 years old, but he always tells me, "You're my hero, mommy," and I know I'm doing something right. Yeah, so he's a superhero. I'm super mommy. Yeah.
Superhero, super mommy. Okay. Then what's next for you besides finishing off your masters?
That's what's next. Besides is what's next. Yeah, I need to finish my masters. I need to grow in my career, which is quite tricky because you can't really tell how exactly things will turn out.
Yeah.
But yeah, development. Find other ways to develop myself. I don't know if it's going to be another qualification. I don't know if it's a job opportunity, job change, upgrade. Yeah.
Well, you may not understand now, but you'll understand later. John 13:7. So yeah. Okay, cool. Well, yes. The questions that you skipped, you remember that it was 10 questions? Then you picked the even.
I don't remember.
You picked you don't even remember.
Okay.
You picked the even.
All right.
So now we're going for in that order. So we're starting with 27.
Okay.
Okay, now we covered this. I'm gonna go straight to the ones that you didn't ask. The answer. Okay, so taking risk, of course, requires courage and stuff. But what's the one bold move you've made and changed everything for you? You think?
Sure, that's a loaded question. One bold move.
Yeah.
That changed everything. I think it's improving my results.
Yeah.
I had options so I didn't fail my matric, and I think when I talk to my family, that's something I need to remind them. I didn't fail my matric. I got a diploma pass with 3 distinctions, and I had acceptance from other institutions, but I knew I didn't want to go to those. I'm not going to mention them because I don't want to, but I didn't want to go to those institutions, and I wanted to do a bachelor's degree and nothing else. I didn't want to do a diploma. I didn't want to do a higher certificate. And it was tough, because like I'm saying, I didn't fail my matric, but now when I'm rewriting, everyone's like, oh, she's repeating, she failed. And it was a very difficult time, but I had to soldier on. I had to own it.
How can you not see it? We used to get on the newspaper.
I was on the newspaper. My name and surname were there, not just my exam number like they do now.
So
I think it was just the stigma that after you pass your matric, you need to be in a higher institution. So if you are doing matric again, then you failed. And it wasn't very nice. Like, people spoke. It affected my self-esteem. I also didn't understand how I got there, but I'm glad I did what I did, and I think it changed my life, because I can only imagine if I didn't improve my matric.
Okay.
So it's very, very important to have a good matric pass. That's my advice to learners.
Don't downplay yourself.
Primary, high school, invest in that matric. When I came to Sasol, actually for all my jobs, they wanted that matric certificate.
What?
Yeah, it's that important.
Even
for my current role. I'm like, I've got qualifications. How do you think I got here? Exactly, but they still need that.
Yeah, they still need. Wow. Okay, perfect. Well, this last question we spoke about, you're just gonna repeat yourself. So I'm gonna make you pick
again.
The cards again. Okay. So this time I'm making you pick. Let's make it 5. Make it quick.
Those are tricky.
They're tricky. I know he can get this. This is kids' version.
2. 3, 4,
5.
5.
One for me. There we go. Oh, show this real quick. Let's see. First one. What has been the happiest day of your life so far and why?
I've had very many happy days. But the day I said I do to the love of my life, that was the happiest. I don't think I've ever been that happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I married my husband.
That's when you married your husband.
Yes.
Happiest day. What is your favorite holiday and why?
My favorite holiday and why? Is it somewhere that I've been to
Yeah,
or
the vacation,
somewhere
yeah. Let's say where you've been to.
I aspire to?
Let's do both. Where you've been to and where you wanna go.
Well, I've been to when I went to Dubai for honeymoon.
Okay.
That was the best honeymoon destination.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what's the next one? Where do you wanna go?
I think I'd love to go to the Maldives, just for, the clear blue waters and the peace and tranquil there. I've never been there. If my husband is watching, then hint, hint.
well, yeah. You owe me for this. Wherever you are, you owe me for this. What is the best gift you've ever received?
Sure. That's a tough one. But I think when I count my blessings, I think the gift of family, I don't take my family for granted. Like having my parents, my mom and dad, my siblings, my own family, like my husband, my child. Yeah, that's the greatest gift of life.
Yeah, I hope people are watching this. So there's still some people who talk like this about the other people. So yeah. So what is your all-time favorite toy? See, it's the kids' version.
All-time favorite toy. Yeah. I love playing. I was not really into toys, but I played a lot. I played a lot, like in the streets, playing ball, climbing trees. I broke my hand at one time, but I don't have a memory of like a favorite toy. Yeah, I wasn't into toys.
What's your son's favorite toys?
He loves his cars.
Yeah.
He loves his cars, his trucks. He likes playing, but I think he incorporates, we have those huge trucks where he can load sand. And the scooters, the ones that make a lot of noise.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. What do you think are the most important qualities? Oh, look at this. Qualities of a good parent.
That's a trap question. I think the most important is to show up for your child, to be an example to them, to live what you teach them, and to equally learn from them, to understand that they are their own human being, and to support them in their dreams and imaginations, and where possible, make those come true. But I think the assurance that you are there for them and you love them, and you have their best interests at heart.
Okay. So for someone who's watching this, what's the last words you'd like to leave with them? Words of wisdom, whatever.
It's to say that believe in yourself. Go for those dreams. Don't give up. Never write yourself off. Grab any opportunities that come your way. Yeah. And you'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Things do get better with time. I think trust the process while actively working on ways to improve it. But things do get better. They did for me. I've had dark moments and very bright moments as well.
Yeah. Well, the night on doesn't it's not 24 hours, so the sun comes out, so you'll be fine.
The sun will come out.
Yeah,
Will always come out. Yeah.
What is those things that say like there's light at the end of the tunnel or something? But yeah, whatever. But thank you for coming. I know it's late and after work you're tired.
No, thank you for the opportunity. I don't look like it.
Yeah.
I do feel tired.
Yeah, but just
thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate this. I do not take it for granted.
Okay.
And it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you see, it wasn't difficult questions.
No, not at all.
Just discussion.
Some questions are difficult, but
okay.
Manageable.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but just I keep on being the person you are. Like the opportunities that you keep on grabbing and sharing the experience with the people, and then being the pillar for the people in your life. So it's very admirable. And then being a hard worker, not relying only on the genius people. Like, you have to still put in the work.
Yeah.
So yeah, and all the best. It's fine.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, then let's see. People watching, thank you for watching. Social media stuff, likes, share, subscribe. Thank you. Bye.